I think definitely will finish within the stipulated time. I know I'll be probably preaching to the faithful, but just to quickly go over the advantages that IT will give education. We've already seen in the earlier sessions the dearth of quality faculty and the need for keeping consistency in quality across all education spheres, including right down to the smallest denominator. We also discussed how we will have to leverage our technology for meeting volumes. And I think these are the three compelling reasons that we will have to rely more and more on ICT to be able to deliver quality education to the masses. I thought I'll begin the session with the permission of the chairman by putting down some of the basic fundamental requirements of IT. What do we exactly mean when we say IT in education? So I will devote my 10 minutes to just giving you the broad parameters that we will look for, and I'm sure the other speakers will add to their own experience to this. I see technology in 6 layers when we talk about providing IT to education. At the very lowest level is hardware. You can't run an application without hardware, so you are going to need a data center. Quite often these data centers are in the campus, but more and more today, as data center management is not really the core competence of a college, these are outsourced to either a local or an all-India data center. The next is, of course, networking. A lot of universities have multiple campuses, but even within a college, there can be very large campuses, as we've seen in Indore, 20-acre plus, and number of buildings maybe 10 or 20. They all have to be linked by a fiber optics network. All the client environments or client workstations or user workstations would have to be hooked on to this, and you can get up to 500 users, including the student in-house cyber cells, to hook up to your servers. So you're talking of fairly large number of networking, both with the Cat6 cable as well as the fiber optics backbone. Third is, of course, layer now. Most of the colleges have reached this level. The third layer would be web hosting and document management. Why web? We spoke very briefly in the earlier sessions of the need to use communities, use ICT to build communities. And we've seen the need to involve experts. We've had the minister speak and the Honorable Secretary talk to us that you can take the best math speaker and have him address all their 33,000 schools. The same can be done with management or engineering education. We know that IIT has already put on the web some of its best lectures. We know that Harvard Business School has put a lot of material and content, including case studies, on the net. So web hosting becomes very important, particularly if you're in isolated areas geographically. This gives you access to some of the best schools globally, leave alone in India, and that knowledge is then available at your fingertips, literally. So web hosting, even messaging, and setting up communities with experts, having expert advice available to your students from some of the metros where the guest lecturers cannot come over, or having parents involved more in their education of their children. Attendance records, academic records, etc. can be made available with security only to the parents and guardians of the students. The fourth layer is the basic ERP. I think more and more school administrators need this support, whether it's payroll, whether it's faculty management, whether it's just inventory control, and of course financial management. All of this can be taken care of by a single layer, which is integrated, and leaves the administrators to focus on more academic orientation rather than the bookkeeping and keeping inventories. So the fourth layer is the traditional ERP business applications, of which finance, budgeting and costing, inventory and materials management, as well as HR and payroll would be the key. The fifth layer is something that very few universities have achieved so far, and that is campus management. Everything from managing admissions to attendance to academic records, and including, if you have the sophisticated software, even uniformity in assessment. There are digital exams available, and there are descriptive exams which can be marked digitally, and all these combinations are available. So the entire campus management suite is available. I think the toughest amongst that is timetabling, and if those kind of headaches can be taken care of administratively, then it takes the life of an administrator much easier. In MBA colleges, where you have a large number of guest faculty, rescheduling is just a matter of sending SMSs through the system. And you can imagine how much easier it is for student coordinators to set up additional guest lectures or reschedule their programs. The last but not the least, the sixth layer, is a professional virtual community and the reporting engine. The MIS is traditional, except that now it's real time, it's online, and it's available at your fingertips. But a professional virtual community, I think, is what is the final layer, where you can set up small virtual communities with like-minded professors, academicians, students, alumni across the world. Each of these communities will serve a specific purpose. Some will add to the content of the education. Some of the industrialists will share their case studies. The alumni can help you with placements and so on and so forth. So setting up these smaller groups and virtual communities, and these could be obviously globally, can go a long way in improving the overall quality of education. So just 6 layers that I spoke about, which is really what we mean when we say IT, hardware and data center, network, web hosting, business applications, campus management software, and professional virtual communities.